Welcome back to another episode of Raceboat Life with your host, me, and your sponsor, me, and your co-sponsor, the wife. Look, it's my wife interested in wiener. And starring the Supernova 24 Raceboat. Now let's get back to our project. It's really not looking so pretty out here, but I just checked the radar and there isn't rain within 200 miles. Fingers are crossed. So now the hard part. It's extremely rudimentary wiring in this boat, but there's two of everything, and they're all separated from one another. That way, in case of an emergency, there's no cross-contamination, so to speak. And one place we don't want to go is into our lanyards. Just some stupid feeling about the GPS unit battery backfeeding the system and the boat just drives away. Even if it's only for another 100 yards, it's 100 yards you'll never be able to recover. There is a few commons, like on this fuse box here we have some running lights and some interior lights, but there's really nothing else that runs on the boat, so we've decided that we're going to come over here to the hot side of the key right there. I think that'll work because it's hot no matter what. This way, it won't matter what motor's on or what's off or what have you, we're just going to have to run it. New wiring over to here. Up there somehow. Well, I think I may have just found something better. This is the main line going up to the fuse box directly from the battery. Like I said, this boat's extremely rudimentary. Everything is simple as possible, including the bilge pump comes directly to the battery tow. And we have, with only one battery on, a hot light and a junction already in, so we're just going to expand this guy and run a line off of it. See, this is back in my tape days before I went to shrink wrap. Ugh. This is one of the reasons why, just taking that off, and now I'm sticky. I'll have to go get some cleaner and as long as these videos are, they have no representation of real time. Now, from the last shot to this one, we just spent an hour kind of debating back and forth on which way I wanted to go. And I think we're going to go with the distribution block. I'm not a big fan of making pigtails and wires, and I definitely don't like to do it twice. And these things are for things that are already pre-fused, like the bilge pumps. They have fuses already built into the panel. The switch panel itself has fuses built into the panel. So, and this is already pre-fused also, so it just needs 12 volt. It doesn't need any, protection, so to speak. So, let me show you the deal here. So we started off, we're going to go with that's our switch panel. But it's pre-fused, everything is pre-fused. Then we're going to go to our key. And I really don't like piling up wires on the key. I've seen a lot of people do that. I personally don't. I mean, what is ever minimum that goes there? So then we followed the bilge pump wire and the hot wire for the box, and we followed it over to here, where we found this junction right here. My other end isn't plugged in, so we'll say it's hot. But what we're going to do is we're going to extend that to here. We're going to bring that over to here. We're going to put our box on like so. And that way we don't have to have a fused box, but all these wires just joining other wires in the middle is not really kind of our thing. So let's move. Now that we know our distribution block's going here, we're going to extend our cable for our power line over here before we get it screwed up in place. We've already got it crimped on. You know, I'm sure you've seen that a million times. And of course, instead of the dreaded tape, we're going to be using shrink wrap this time, because I hate the dreaded tape. But that's what we had back in 2009. Don't leave that stuff sit in the sun. You'll never get it on anything else again. I always had a problem with this shrink wrap. The 3/8 is too big for a yellow wire nut, and a 1/4 inch is too small. So I'm sure people have seen this before, but if you haven't, what I'd like to do is put the 1/4 inch on, and it doesn't matter. You can actually put your wire nut on if you want to, because the 3/8 will actually go over top of both of them. But I actually shrink wrap the 1/4 inch to the wire first. That way it fattens the wire up, so when you do put this on, as big as it is, it has something a little more to fill in the gap. But that's just me. That way it's nice and tight. No gaps at the end, and still able to fit around the actual nut itself. So we got our box screwed back up. We got our power line coming in here. Just got to get the fuels box line put back on. And of course our bilge pump, and we'll be back to where we started. Okay, and with that screw, I'm back to where I was. So for now I have this. And this will make it real easy to put in the new hotline for the GPS unit. So after we got our hotline in, we came over here and hooked on to the ground box. And we ran our wires over, and we're right about here now. And I think as it goes through this hole, we'll put some wire loom on it, that way it doesn't chafe right there. And finally we'll be back over here where the battery charger is sitting, and that's where we're supposed to put the GPS 2.5 hours later. Man, I'm really sorry about you guys missing installing that wire loom. That was more fun than should be humanly possible. Wow. So I'm really sorry. I feel like James Earl Jones should be doing a voice overlay on this with 4 days later. We have our plug. So now we can actually install our GPS unit. But first, we have to clean up. We got stuff everywhere. So, we've got our plug. We got our Garmin that needs that plug. We've gotten pretty much exactly where we wanted to go. And we're thinking we're going to put it right here. The thing about it is, this disc actually gets mounted to the deck itself with screws. It's the only piece that won't actually unscrew. So we got to be pretty happy with it. And we, you know, it's one of those like sporting events where they say, we're going to sell you the whole seat, but you only need the edge. I tend to be up here on the edge because you want to be up on the wheel and you're pushing throttles forward. And I can see this right where it's at fine. I mean, it's not like I'm going to be driving, you know, I'm not going to be driving like through a GPS unit or a heads-up display unit. I mean, so, again, it's just to know where I am. I think we're going to put it right here. Alright. I know some of y'all are going to flip out and say, you didn't put any sealant in there. You didn't put any sealant in there. This area down here never really gets wet. It's perpetually dry unless you're actually scrubbing the box. And like I said, we need to be able to get this out without having the heads break off or it get, you know, stuck in there or what have you. Because these little discs are quite expensive. You end up having to buy like this whole bottom section here. You know, and that's like 35 bucks just to get that little disc, a little stupid disc. So we want to be able to remove it. Like I said, if we need to take the rear motor out, this seat has to go that way, and it can't have that there because this seat weighs about 250 pounds. So okay, with our battery on here, let's test our box. Well, that looks good to go. Let's go check out our GPS unit. Well, we got her plugged into our waterproof connector down here, so that way we can quick unsnap it and take the whole unit out, because we want to be able to use it in the 19 also without having to disassemble the sides and all that. We just take that one bottom nut out here, just unscrew that and lift the whole thing up, which is really nice. That way we can use it in both boats. It's only two will probably use it, you know, need something more than what the 3-hour battery can handle. As you can see, we're on charge, baby. That means it's running off of boat batteries. And I think it's really going to be a nice help down here. Because it's pretty much, I mean, here, oh, this is like over my shoulder. Just kind of looking down for all you book face, have to check your status people who are sitting at the stoplights. This will be nothing new to you. I mean, it's just kind of a glance down. And I can see right exactly where it is. Throttle's right there, the steering wheel's right there. I'm mumbling on and on. I'm really happy. This is awesome. I mean, a simple snap. We used to use our little Nuvi and it didn't have any charts on it. You just kind of have outlines of water. But at least it kind of judged speed and direction, but this is going to be so much more awesome. I mean, when you can, oh, I wonder what the water's like out there. Oh, look at that. Well, here it's 8 feet. Yeah, right here it's fun. Yeah, this is awesome. But, believe it or not, that's our day. It's already 7 o'clock and we still got to get cleaned up and covered up. So once again, we get to go back to the list. Goodbye GPS plug and install. We do got to find someplace better than this eBay box to put our GPS in now.
Every time we get a like and a subscriber, we can feel the freedom coursing through the veins of America. It's awesome.
Welcome back to another episode of Raceboat Life with your sponsor, me. That didn't do it. Damn it. Take the camera in the house just in case it does pull. We'll just edit that last part out. Ah, man. I really wish the... Let's do that again. Raceboat Life.